What's up, guys? Today I will tellin' about the 5-cent Canada coin, 1968. Issuer Canada. Queen Elizabeth II, 1952 to 2022. Type standard circulation coins. Years 1965 to 1978. Value 5 cents, 0.05 Canadian dollars equal to PKR 9.69. Currency dollar 1858 date. Composition nickel 99.9% nickel. Weight 4.5, 4 grams. Diameter 21.2, 1 millimeters. Thickness 1.7 millimeters. Shape round. Technique milled. Orientation metal alignment. Number N401 help. References KM 60.1, Sean 60. Obverse. Bust of Queen Elizabeth II, as at 37 years of age, wearing tiara, facing right. Script, Latin. Lettering, Elizabeth II de Gregina. Unabridged legend, Elizabeth II de Gratia Regina. Translation, Elizabeth II, Queen by the grace of God. Designer, Arnold Machin. Reverse, a North American beaver binomial name, Castor canadensis, above the country name, surrounded with the face value, flanked on both sides by a maple leaf. Script, Latin. Lettering, 5 cents. Canadata, 1965, kg. Engraver, Thomas Shingles. Designer, George Kruger-Gray. Edge, plain, 5 cents. Elizabeth II, second portrait, obverse. Mints, Royal Canadian Mint of Ottawa, Canada, 1908 date. Royal Canadian Mint of Winnipeg, Canada, 1976 date. The Canadian 5-cent coin, commonly called a nickel, is a coin worth 5 cents or 1/20th of a Canadian dollar. It was patterned on the corresponding coin in the neighboring United States. It became the smallest valued coin in the currency upon the discontinuation of the penny in 2013. With indigenous peoples in Canada prior to European contact, when they used items such as wampum and furs for trading purposes, the indigenous peoples continued to use those items as currency when trade with Europeans began. During the period of French colonization, coins were introduced, as well as one of the first examples of paper currency by a Western government. During the period of British colonization, additional coinage was introduced as well as banknotes. The Canadian colonies gradually moved away from the British pound and adopted currencies linked to the United States dollar. With Confederation in 1867, the Canadian dollar was established. By the mid-20th century, the Bank of Canada was the sole issuer of paper currency, and banks ceased to issue banknotes. Canada began issuing its own coins shortly after Confederation. In the 20th century, Canada has issued many commemorative coins into circulation, temporarily replacing current coinage designs. There also exists a long history of numismatic coin issues. The 1948 silver 5-cent coin marks a significant transition in Canadian currency. This coin was minted in a composition of 80% silver and 20% nickel, making it a valuable piece for collectors. While the silver content adds to its worth, the limited mintage of the 1948 silver 5-cent coin enhances its desirability, especially for those interested in Canadian numismatics. 7. The 1964.95 cents, a modern rarity. The 1964.9 nickel is a modern rarity that holds value due to a subtle variation in the design. In this particular variation, the tip of the number 9 on the coin appears pointed rather than rounded. While the difference may seem minor, collectors appreciate the uniqueness and rarity of this variation. The 1964.9 5-cent coin is a must-have for any collector seeking modern Canadian nickel treasures. Conclusion: Canadian nickel coin collecting offers a captivating journey into the realm of numismatics, with numerous valuable and rare coins to be discovered. From the elusive 1921 5-cent coin to the intriguing variations of the 1925 and 1926 nickels, Each piece has its own story and appeal. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting your numismatic adventure, exploring the world of Canadian nickel coins can be a thrilling and rewarding experience. So, grab a magnifying glass and start uncovering the hidden gems that await you in the world of Canadian nickel coin collecting. The history of Canadian currencies began with Indigenous peoples in Canada prior to European contact, when they used items such as wampum and furs for trading purposes. The Indigenous peoples continued to use those items as currency when trade with Europeans began. During the period of French colonization, coins were introduced, as well as one of the first examples of paper currency by a Western government. During the period of British colonization, additional coinage was introduced, as well as banknotes. The Canadian colonies gradually moved away from the British pound and adopted currencies linked to the United States dollar. With Confederation in 1867, the Canadian dollar was established. By the mid to 20th century, the Bank of Canada was the sole issuer of paper currency, and banks ceased to issue banknotes. Canada began issuing its own coins shortly after Confederation. In the 20th century, Canada has issued many commemorative coins into circulation, temporarily replacing current coinage designs. There also exists a long history of numismatic coin issues. According to author Alan G. Berman, Canadian nickels struck in pure nickel are very difficult to grade due to the alloy's hardness. 5-cent coins dated 1921 are among the rarest and most collectible Canadian circulation coins, known as the Prince of Canadian coins. Estimates of the number of specimens known range between 400 and 480. In May 1921, the Government of Canada passed an act authorizing the change to the larger nickel coin, and subsequently, the majority of the 1,921 mint run was melted down. The coin believed to be the finest known specimen, PCG's MS-67, sold for $115,000 at auction in January 2010. It was then sold by the Canadian Numismatic Company for $160,000 to a private collector in early 2012. The Canadian 5-cent coin from 1968 is a small coin made primarily of nickel. Here's some key information about it. Obverse features the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Arnold Machin. This is the second effigy of the Queen used on Canadian coins. Reverse features the iconic beaver sitting on a rock, surrounded by water. This design, created by GE Kruger-Gray, has been used on Canadian nickel since 1937. The inscription includes the word Canadata, the denomination 5 cents, and the year 1968. Value. While the coin is common and generally holds its face value in circulated condition, uncirculated or proof versions may have a slightly higher value among collectors, typically ranging between 25 cents to $5 CAD, depending on condition. Circulated coins. Face value, 5 cents CAD. Collector value, typically between 5 cents to 25 cents CAD for coins in circulated condition, depending on where. Uncirculated coins, mint state. Value, between $1 to $5 CAD, depending on the grade and luster. Special cases. Proof-like sets. Coins from special mint sets can be worth $5 to $10 CAD or more. Condition. Coins in exceptional condition, MS-65 or higher, may fetch a premium from collectors. The 1968 Canadian 5-cent coin was minted by the Royal Canadian Mint in Ottawa. All nickels from this year were produced there. If you're curious about distinguishing marks, the coin does not have a mint mark because Canadian coins minted in Ottawa generally do not carry one. The mint mark practice started later for coins minted in other locations like Winnipeg.